Hi, so here's the third video of the first training session, and we had stopped for some water, and then we were on that industrial road with no sidewalk, so I just waited till we got back on some sidewalk to start filming again. And we're just kind of taking it through the motions. You could see what I've been doing with her, and that's kind of why I'm uploading this long form content like this. So you can really see from start to finish how it actually unfolds. If you go back, I'll put a link at the end to the first part of the video, and she was wanting to pull ahead all over the place. And through walking together for a little while, we've been walking together for almost 2 hours at this point. Um, she's definitely like getting the vibe that we're sharing this experience, and she's still wanting to kind of do her thing. You can see here, but it's not anywhere near as driven or as like extreme as it was. And you'll see as we get walking more down on the street and stuff how she's not wanting to pull ahead really as much. I mean, still, but not like before. And what that means to me is that uh, she's coming around to understand the communication that I'm trying to achieve with her. And that's all my goal is for this first session. I'm not looking to like have a perfectly trained dog or this or that or the other thing. It's more about becoming familiar with the process. Because if I can show her owner how to take her on walks like this, where he'll create, boundaries for her and not let her just do whatever she wants, while still making it fun and enjoyable and like totally fair for the dog, that's how he'll get the long-term results of achieving like totally perfect behavior in all situations. It has to come through kind of repetition and just consistency over time. So my goal with the first session is to create a real solid foundation in that area to make it a lot easier for the owner to keep some momentum going. So here we are back on the main street. I kind of know where we are at this point, and we're a little ways off from the shop still, but at least now I know where we are, and we're just walking, and you can see where her nose is in relation to my legs. That she's being pretty cool, and I'm being chill. I'm not doing anything different really than I was at the beginning, except we're walking more focused now because she's being cool. Like, she's not cutting me off as much, so we're able to actually keep walking. And the more that she understands, like, hey, if I don't cut him off as much, we'll just keep walking. It's like there's so many layers to communication, whether you're talking with people or with a dog. Like, that's why you could be having a conversation with another human being. And yeah, you guys are talking words to each other, but there's like this whole other like dynamic of energy transfer. And that's why somebody can turn weird in the middle of a conversation and all of a sudden the vibe shifts and it's like, oh, you said something that like offended them and now they're like shutting down on you or something like that. People do it all the time. That's why, I ain't trying to figure people out. Like, they're way too passive aggressive and nobody really just says what's on their mind. So, but with a dog, you get what's on their mind. You actually get what they're feeling, and it's so much easier to work with, even if it's a little bit more stressful sometimes. But you really get the real deal, and there's no wasted, trying to figure stuff out, because the dog is literally just showing you what they're feeling. And if you can connect with them on that level, the good and the bad. Like if your dog's not comfortable, don't try and like become an ostrich and just act like everything should be fine, meet your dog there. So check this out. This is the kind of stuff I do on walks whenever possible. You see these things? They're just big cement things. So we're just going to walk through them like this. Nothing fancy. I didn't like say nothing to the dog. They're actually like barely wide enough for me to walk through. But all I'm doing is there's not space. You see how she tucked her head in there and there wasn't space for us to both fit? So she's just being forced, quote unquote, forced to follow me. So I don't make a big deal out of it. We did it a few times and nothing. Now we're just walking again. But stuff like that, when you just hit up a dog randomly with like some random obstacle out of nowhere like that, and just totally break the pattern of what you're doing, it's helpful to the dog because it shows them like, hey, this is a dynamic experience and that I want to pay attention to what's going on so that I can participate in it. And like I said in the other videos, this dog is super cool. Like, I've got no problems with this dog at all. It's a sweetheart. But in terms of like feeling like the love or whatever you would say, it's crazy how like it's completely absent from this training session. Usually by this point of a training session, I feel like I got like some feelings for the dog, like they're usually being like, whenever you can watch a dog go from being stressed to being happy and calm, and then they're actually like looking at you with gratitude, I mean, that feels good, man. It's part of why I do this. I mean, without sounding selfish, but it feels good to help a dog. When you spend a couple hours with a dog and they're noticeably happy and they're looking at you in a way that is connecting the dots that you participated in helping them get there, that's a real good feeling to have. And it not only it feels good, but it also really reinforces the connection that you have with the dog. And it's kind of like a milestone, so to speak, in the training that makes it gain more momentum. Whereas with this dog, like, I don't feel that at all. And it's not personal. It's not like I'm upset about it or anything, but this dog is not a people dog. It's not, it's like a wolf almost, although I know that it's not a wolf, but it has that vibe on it where it's like, it's very independent. And this training session was kind of a learning experience for me because it made me realize like how much I actually feed off the dogs. And it's not something I would say with, you should try and emulate, but it's definitely a two-way street when you're working with a dog. And a lot of times, I've said this before, at the end of a training session, the dog and me are vibing real good, and then it's the owners that are harder to deal with. A lot of times when I'm done with a long training session, especially the first one, you get home and you're pretty cashed out. It's like you've like really drained the tank of energy, and usually that comes from the owner, not so much the dog. But in this situation, I actually vibe better with the owner than the dog. He's like a super chill dude, really intuitive guy, like real down to earth guy. And I could talk with him, all day. Whereas his dog is just not very reciprocative of like good vibes. It's still wanting to do its own thing, even though this dog is like cooperating with me here and like being super chill and very easy and agreeable to walk. It's like not feeling me really anything beyond that. It still hasn't really even looked at me again, which is fine, but I'm just pointing out the difference in dog personalities and how my first goal in my training session, or the one of my goals in the first training session is what I meant to say, is to really get a vibe on the dog and really feel where they're coming from so that I can tailor my vibe to give the dog the most appropriate thing that it needs to to rehabilitate and to go from being stressed to being calm. And that's what my goal is with this dog, is same thing. And I'm just finding it to be a little bit of a different process. What this dog actually needs is basically just simple structure and boundaries. They're kind of fine on their own emotionally. Like, they're not like insecure, like quite the opposite. Actually, this dog is like not even the slightest bit insecure. This is a very confident dog, very capable dog. Doesn't need me. And I'm kind of tripping out. I'm not used to Springfield. I'm kind of like digging this whole old school vibe, like a drive-in. I've never really seen one of these for a long time. So we kind of walk up into this area because I wanted to explore it a little bit, and I figured it'd be good to give her, a little bit of chance to feel a different vibe. And that's what I'm saying. When you can like connect with the dog and like actually have a relationship, like where it's like, let's share this experience, then you can do cool stuff like this. Like, I wanted to check out the menu and just see what it was, and the dog is like, word, cool, Whereas at the beginning of the walk, like if I had like come right to this spot and try to do this exact same stuff, the dog wouldn't have been like wanting to participate in that. It would have been yanking me all over the place. And that's what I'm saying. It's like when you just gradually like go through the motions with a dog. I'm real big on walks if you haven't figured it out. But if you just take your dog and walk it and set the boundaries. See how the people come out here and this dog, it wanted to be more curious, but it's like really respectful of the boundaries. We don't have to be best friends, me and the dog, to connect with each other and have really good communication. Just like you can have co-workers at your job who you guys might not even like each other. Technically, it's not like you hate each other, but you have like nothing in common, no shared interests. But because you both understand the process of communication, you're able to function like very well together and have like no problems and get things done, and neither of you guys are feeling stress about it. And that's kind of what I'm doing with this dog. It's like this dog and me, we're not best friends. We're not building this relationship where we're gonna, think about each other. Like, I'm not missing this dog now that she's not here. Whereas sometimes after I train a dog, I'll actually be home at night and I'll be like, I wonder how the dog is. Like, it's like, not to say anything negative, but my point is it doesn't have to be personal. I mean, if it's your own dog, obviously you want that relationship. But when I'm trying to help a dog, I'm not looking to like, I don't have to even really be friends with it to connect with it in a intelligent, helpful way. And that's something that I'm really kind of just mentioning now because I feel like there's like tons of spillover between how you deal with dogs and how you deal with people. And this is one area where it's like really obvious that it's like really similar. Like, me and this dog can share a total cooperative vibe, very productive session together on the leash, all kinds of good stuff. And that's that. It's like business, It's like you can have good communication with people that you don't have to invest emotions into it, or feel a certain way one way or the other. That once this starts to become your pattern of how you communicate, then you become so much more free, because you don't have to really like people in order to be really effective and truly present and truly like, I don't know how to say, like, kind-hearted and compassionate and actually care about the person. Like, truly care about the person, but you don't have to be like feeling like you even like them. So she was a little distracted by the dog, but you can see, because she understands what's expected of her. That's one of the best things you can really do for your dog, is to just show them what you really expect of them. Like, if you expect them to be happy but yet attentive to you, then show them that that's what your expectations are, and they'll happily live in that realm, which is totally fair. I mean, be happy and pay attention. That's all. And I mean, I wouldn't like expect much more than that from a dog, especially one that I just met. Some of my unexpectations are like things that I do not expect, and not only do I not expect them, but I won't tolerate them, would be like lunging after dogs, getting really anxious about stuff. Like, if she had started like whining and squeaking and wanting to be nervous about going and getting a dog, I wouldn't expect that or tolerate it. But I do expect her to just be a happy, mellow dog and just enjoy what we're doing together without feeling that she needs to like push the pace. Because you see how this whole video up to this point, I mean, we've been walking 15 minutes and she hasn't, gone ahead of me. And part of it's because I'm using a leash to prevent it, but, she could still be trying to do it way more than she is. So that's something I just want to show with you. This video is basically just the last leg of the walk. We're coming up pretty close. I'm stopping at every intersection because I don't want somebody to like slam into us making a turn. So every intersection I just stop and turn around and look and make sure no one's turning. And that's a helpful aspect of the training for her, because it teaches her, like, every intersection we're going to stop maybe, and if I want to go look at something, um, you know, we'll stop and look at it. So here we're looking at some sheds and, this kind of thing. Springfield's interesting. There's a lot more space over here. Like, everything in Eugene is all tight and squished. The prices for the real estate are real expensive. And I'm kind of enjoying the way it's like real spread out over here. It feels much more old-fashioned. Like, whenever they build new stuff now, they just like squish it all in together to the point where don't even have any elbow room. But it's nice to be in a space where it's not that way. So we walk right by that guy. I think he was like waiting for the bus or something. And you can see she didn't even like, and that's cool. It just shows me that she's like feeling what we're doing. And that's all that my goal was with her today, is to just get her mind to be calm so that she ain't trying to push the pace or make all the decisions. And that was it. So we're getting pretty close to the shop. I'm almost kind of running out of stuff to say. I want to follow through with the whole video so you can really literally see from start to finish. And as we get up to the owner, that's usually a big part of the training session, because no matter how much I can connect with the dog and how much of a good state of mind I can get a dog into while we're walking, when we get back to their space and they like see their owner, they'll usually get like all excited again or something like that. And you could see this dog doesn't have that that behavior. Like, she's happy to be back, to see her owner, she says hi and whatever, but it's not like some dramatic like, oh my God, I missed you so much, you know. And that to me is part of what I'm looking to observe in my first training session, because it'll show me how effective my efforts are going to be. Like if I can get a dog totally dialed in on a walk on our first session, and then I can take it back to the owner, and the dog reverts back to like all the same excitement, jumping, whatever, you know, whatever we were trying to prevent, then that just shows me that the owner, without sounding negative, that the owner represents excitement to the dog, and that's something I'm going to have to address with the owner, and formulate my choice of words appropriately, so as to not offend them or make them feel like they're doing something wrong just for wanting to love their dog. But fortunately, in this case, this dog's owner, is super chill, and that's not going to be a problem for us. So this kid here was super cool, nice and friendly little kid, saying hi to the dog. He actually said he recognized the dog. He said, I think I know that dog. And he said, this is the kid that says, what's the dog's name? And I says, I don't know what the dog's name is, but the owner's name is such and such. And he works down at there and there, you know? And he was like, yeah, that is the dog. I know that guy. And he was like, okay, have a nice day, kid. And that was nice, you know? Like, I like respectful kids. Like that kid, if he happens to be watching the video, or his parents do, good job. You're raising a nice, respectful young man there. It's always nice to see. Kid had like an inner sense of self-confidence that was refreshing. So yeah, we're getting pretty close. I think we're like literally like a block away now, and we just like are going to walk through the parking lot here and come up into the guy's shop, and that's the end of the first training session. We'll connect again. I'll work with the dog again, but for now, I just kind of wanted to get this under the bridge, so to speak, and give the owner a chance to see what we actually did, because he is super busy at work. He didn't have time to come around for 3 hours and just futz around in the middle of a work day, whereas this is my job, so this is what I do, so it's like a win-win. And making these videos, some of you guys will see it and hopefully have some edification or some gaining of knowledge by watching this happen. And then the owner will be able to see, you know, what went down with his dog while he was busy. And at the start of our next training session, the owner will be fully on board and up to speed with what's going on, and ready to participate in it on the level that we've already created. So here we are, we're getting ready to cross the street one last time, and you'll see that she definitely sees where we are. You know, I mean, she's probably known where we've been for the whole time, I don't know. But definitely for the last little bit, I feel like she could tell. I'm all about Honda Civics, if you can't tell. They're awesome. But anyway, you could see she goes across the street, but I noticed there was a car coming, so I try and be real polite. I didn't want to cut this car off, so that's the only reason why I asked her to come back here, like right here. It's just because a car was coming. Had nothing to do with her. The car waved us through, so we just like walked in front of it. I waved back, and here we are, back at the shop. And, you know, I wanted to gauge, like, if she started pulling me real hard here, like, that's kind of what I was, like, wanting to see how she was going to be as we got back. And no, she was super cool, man. Like, this dog is very mature, very intelligent, very emotionally balanced, pretty much, except for the dog aggression stuff, but we could fix that. And here comes her owner, and she's just like, word. So thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful. Take care.